Welcome back to another Too Generic Pod. It's your boy Cam
Rich.
and we're going to talk about the UFC 300 today. UFC 300 reactions. We got a lot to say. We already put all our fights in, so what our record is stands. And I think both of us did pretty good.
We did.
There's some cards where you're like, I have no clue. Like some of these fights are 50-50, but I felt like UFC 300 was so prepared, and we just got to really just think about what the
Right.
storylines were, what's important, who's the most important in the division, where we think storylines are going to go. It was a great time.
Yeah, it was all big names in the UFC, so we didn't have to study too much this year. I mean, this fight card.
Right, because we've seen these guys fight all maybe 4 or 5 times each minimum.
Right.
Like these are the type of guys who came out tonight are guys who are UFC regulars or girls, UFC regulars and just fan favorites.
Yeah.
The fighters that people want to see, people pay to see.
And most of these fights could be main events.
Right. Yeah. On a fight night card, if you've seen, I don't even know, if I seen Andrade and Marina Rodriguez, it wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
Right? And that's prelim.
And some of these fights you could see as main events as far as the pay-per-view. If you look at Yuri Prohaska and Alexander Rakic, they could be fighting for the light heavyweight title.
Right.
If Prohaska didn't have to relinquish his belt with the shoulder injury. If you look at, Armin Sarukian versus Oliveira, that could be another pay-per-view main event. There's just so many on this card.
It's true. It really is true. So this was a special one. We appreciated it. And I think we just wanted to make sure, as we did last week, we dedicated a big section of the pod to it. Today, same thing. The UFC 300 was probably the best event they've ever put on.
I agree.
Just collectively, I think everybody was there. The celebrities, you name it. They had the best ring girls. They had it all.
They announced Chael Sonnen in the Hall of Fame.
Chael Sonnen got inducted to the Hall of Fame at 300. It's the best one ever.
Yep.
Truly. They didn't introduce anybody else into the Hall of Fame. They said, Chael Sonnen, 300.
Respect.
He's 300.
He's 300.
Chief Sosa, Chief Chael.
Undefeated.
Never lost.
Never lost.
He's the man. So let's get it started. We'll start it off with the first fight of the night. Davidson Figueiredo. Man, it started off. He started off a little slow for a second. Cody looked like he could get the best of him.
Yeah, I thought Cody looked great last night. He looked quick. His footwork was good, and I thought he won that first round. I thought he did a really good job with the leg kicks in the first round, but then Figueiredo took him down and he got the choke. We know Figueiredo is so good on the ground, and Garbrandt obviously more of a striker. And to me, it wasn't a really a I don't know. For Figueiredo, he's ranked 8th, and Garbrandt isn't even ranked. So I don't know how much of a win it was for Figueiredo.
Right.
I mean, as far as moving up in the rankings, obviously a win is good, a finish is good, but you're going up against a guy who's unranked. So to me, it was a bigger risk for Figueiredo to take this fight rather than Garbrandt take the fight. Because if Cody wins, he's probably back in the top 10, and then people start, bringing him up in title discussions once again.
Yeah, but Figgy figured it out. He started grappling in the second round. I think he landed some takedown.
Yeah, he got that takedown, and that was it. He almost took him down in the first round too, but Garbrandt got up pretty quick.
Yeah, well, I think he started off as a wrestler, so he's got good sprawling. American wrestlers always just have good sprawling. Like that's something that's normal. But yeah, he sprawled well, got out of it. That second round came, and then I don't know. It seemed like once he got him on the ground, it looked like Cody felt like he was done.
Right.
Because he kind of gave up his back a little. I don't know. Hey, if we're going to start off saying Chael, UFC Hall of Famer and everything, Chael said is sometimes, when a guy's got your back, you kind of at one point, there's no way out because you don't have any leverage or anything. You kind of lose all options. And then you find a way out because what are you just going to stand here and just try to block punches to your ear for the next 2 minutes? It doesn't feel good when you're in the situation. So people find ways out, and I feel like Cody could have maybe got out of that.
But especially with how good of a grappler Figueiredo is, and also he doesn't have to cut those 10 pounds, so he's probably he's in better shape. He feels better, and yeah, he got the job done.
Yeah, Figueiredo's super strong. I mean, that's what I was saying last pod, that he's in these like elite one-of-one type bodies, like Wei Lee, like a Brock Lesnar, a LeBron, like one of these people that just like transcends what like the average anatomy does. I feel like Figueiredo has always been super impressive at any weight class. Power that nobody possesses in any weight class he goes to. So,
well, especially at flyweight too.
Yeah, at 125, he was a different animal.
Like, we've never seen power like that at flyweight.
Yeah,
I mean, he had one punch knockout power. It was scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at 135, it looks like he's got enough to actually want to even do groundwork, because I think that's what it is. At 125, he just wanted to stand and throw because he could stand and throw with the best of them. But at 135, you could get in a firefight with Garbrandt. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if he feels like he's got some strength, some extra oomph, yeah, why not wrestle with somebody?
Yeah, because Cody has one punch knockout power too, so you don't really want to play with that either.
Yeah, he does. He's pretty quick.
Yep.
He's like very I don't know how to say it, but he is very
elusive.
Quick. He's bouncy and elusive. Yeah, he's like
yeah.
But he goes down that quick too.
Yeah. That speed hasn't left him yet though.
No, it hasn't. It really hasn't. Shout out to Cody. He looked decent.
So we got those fights right. We got that fight right. We both picked Figueiredo on that one. So we started off the night 1-0.
1-0. We started off 1-0, and we'll see where we go from here.
And then we go to the next one. It was two legends in the sport, in Bobby Green and Jim Miller. And I had Jim Miller. You picked Bobby Green, and it was Bobby Green, a shutout. Yeah,
man. Jim Miller just got peppered the whole night. Jim Miller, he's tough. He's tough as a $2 steak. Yep. Like he's gonna be there no matter what. You could chew on him for an hour. They're still gonna be there. You're still gonna be chewing on him.
Pause.
Pause and bars.
Pause
and bars. But no still kidding. Like it didn't matter. You seen it. Jim Miller he had a cut under his eye. I think he had a cut over his eye.
I couldn't even see his eye by the third round. At the start of the third round, I couldn't even see his eye. It was like
a pool of blood. It was like a red pool, a puddle.
Yeah, you couldn't even see it. And then he had that nasty cut right below his eye too. That was something else. And then the third round, he probably got beat up the most. Bobby Green outstruck him 82-20.
Yeah, at one point it looked really bad. It was looking like Moutinho at one point.
Yep.
Like where he was just like
Green
hit him with a 5-piece, and then like 2 seconds went by, and Jim Miller just goes.
Yep.
Like he didn't know where he was. He didn't know where Bobby Green was or himself.
Yeah, he was just a walking punching bag by the third round.
He just got beat up, and then he tried to return a punch, and it was all air every time. And I felt bad.
But I will say,
it's just what it is. During the fight, they said it. If you look at Jim Miller's last 5 fights, the competition level he was fighting versus Bobby Green in the competition level he was fighting, Bobby Green fought for a world championship.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like what, 3 fights ago?
Not for a world champion. He fought Makhachev, who became the world champion.
Oh yeah, who became the world champion? I know. Islam he's been the champ forever, to be honest.
Yeah, he came in on I don't even know if it was a week's notice, and then he got I think it was a Kimura. I think Makhachev got him with a Kimura. But if you look at Miller's last 5 fights, Nicholas Mata, Donald Cerrone, Alexander Hernandez, Jesse Butler, and Gabriel Benitez, he's gone. That's 4-1 there. And Bobby Green in his last 5, he's fought Drew Dober.
Dober's top 15 or top 10 ranked guy.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ranked right now, but he's been ranked. Jared Gordon, who we know
Gordon. Patty don't even want to fight him.
Yeah, he won that fight against Patty, definitely. I don't think Gordon's ranked, but he's on the
rematch.
He's on the cusp. Tony Ferguson, obviously, he was still. I don't know if he was still ranked at the time. He might have not.
Tony Ferg's still respectable.
Yeah.
Let's see Tony Ferg and Jim Miller. Would that be a fun fight? Would you watch that?
Tony Ferguson and Jim, yeah.
Like, I'll take that one all day.
That might be the fight.
That's
might
the
be
fight.
to set up. Bobby Green had beaten Grant Dawson, who was on a 3-fight winning streak.
He
And
slept him.
and then Jalen Turner, he lost to. But
Yeah.
Jalen Turner, he's top 10 in the lightweight ranking. So he's fought. So at the time, he probably fought at least two ranked fighters. So yeah, you can see the discrepancy in the competition there.
Yeah, so that they kind of pointed that out during the fight, and that's something I was kind of feeling before the fight. Was just like, I've seen Bobby Green in more main events, main stuff. Jim Miller is kind of just staying in the prelims, like
Right.
hanging on by the coattails. Like, he's still fighting, he's still great, he's still one of the all-time leaders.
Yeah, and he's still finishing fights too.
Right, and he's still finishing fights. At least he's not getting knocked out or anything. So Jim Miller wants to keep fighting. I want to see him fight Tony Ferg.
Yep. And I will say he had Bobby Green hurt late in that second round.
He did. He hit him a couple times, walloped him.
Yep. And he was a little wobbly, and then Bobby Green went to the clinch with him, and it kind of saved him.
Yeah.
Kind of saved him.
When Bobby Green went to the clinch for like 20, 30 seconds, he was literally holding on for dear life. Like, you could see it.
Yeah.
Jim Miller was trying to break free, like, get off me, get off me.
Yep.
And Bobby Green was just holding on and leaning on him too. So like he needed that whatever time to get back and recover.
So he was able to regain his composure and then just destroy him in the third round.
Yeah. But that kind of was the fight too. Bobby Green, like I said, was peppering him, little seasoning here and there, just jabs. Yeah. He was hitting him. I mean, he hit him with some hard stuff too, but there wasn't any big shots that Jim Miller really got hit with. He was just getting cut up. But then when Jim Miller landed, the few of his big shots, and we all know, like, what is he, A10 they call him? Jim A10 Miller?
I don't know. Yeah, it's A10. Yeah, A10. Yep.
I think A10 Miller, yeah. But A10 was sitting there dropping some bombs on him. But it just wasn't enough. He probably landed 5 hard shots, and they were the 5 hardest shots of the fight.
Yep.
I don't think Bobby Green really landed, like, the hit or the shot of the night or the fight. Jim Miller still was swinging for the fences, but we already
was able to make it.
What the result is. I wish him the best. I really you don't want to see a dude just lose, but he lost in an honorable way.
He did.
Yeah, I think nobody really I'd say even Gaethje was getting his ass busted.
He was going to lose that fight.
He was going to lose that fight regardless, and he said, "Fuck it, 10 seconds in the phone booth. I win or lose."
Yeah. He was down 4-1, I think, in that fight.
Yeah.
I thought Max won the first 3. He won the 4th, and Max was ahead in the 5th. So
I don't think nobody went out like a coward. No one went out like a bum, really.
Right.
I think Cody Garbrandt was the closest to that. I know we already just talked about it, but probably Cody was the closest to where I was like, you probably could have fought a little more for yourself. But that was about it. Every fight, I thought everyone dumped 100% of their gas tank in it.
Right.
I just think he got in a position where he felt like he was checkmate, and he just said, "Okay, checkmate."
Right.
But I think Cody still had a little more fight in him, to be real.
Yeah.
Maybe those leg kicks actually messed him up or something. I don't know what it could be.
But the next fight was 2 strawweights, Jessica Andrade and Marina Rodriguez. And I think we both picked Andrade in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a split decision, but I thought Andrade definitely had the first and the third.
She looked more aggressive. At times Rodriguez really was piecing her up, would hit her with a couple combos, but they're like these noodle arm nonsense.
Yeah.
She looks like Squidward out there fighting sometimes. Doesn't she?
Yeah.
Tell me she didn't throw combos that looked like this.
And Andrade is just throwing bombs all the time.
Yo, and she's so short. She's literally just going like this.
It looks ridiculous. Like a little kid out there, but she was whooping her ass.
She looked like a mad little kid.
Yep. It was working, though.
It was. She was catching her. There were a few times where I think Marina really got hit, and she was like, whoa.
Yep.
She caught her a couple times clean. I'd say Marina's chin is pretty damn good.
It is.
There were a few that were like, wow, that was a crack. And she didn't really budge. She just kept throwing. She was backing up a lot. But that's her whole game plan. I mean, she's tall, she's skinny, she's good. She's like a Jalen Turner. She's just tall and skinny for the weight class. So you have to fight a certain way. You're not going to be a wrestler and be a twig.
Yeah.
You can't be skin and bones and be a wrestler. So that doesn't make sense. So she fought her style. I thought she managed distance well. There were plenty of times where I thought Andrade looked a little goofy swinging and missing. So I think Marina fought with a good strategy, but it just comes down to Andrade. And it was weird that Andrade didn't go for takedowns.
Yeah, she had
one, but
that was it.
Somebody who can wrestle the way Andrade can, I thought it was pretty strange that you would want to sit and throw with a 36-year-old, like, lanky person, Like, don't even give her the opportunity. You can get pieced up by this girl, and she was at some times. But yeah, I thought she should have took it to the ground. She should have at least 3 takedowns. One in each round, bring her down, and she shouldn't even be able to get back up.
Yeah, and she has the clear advantage as far as striking. I mean, as far as grappling and wrestling there. So, yeah,
you could dump Rose Namajunas on her head. I'm pretty sure you could dump this girl on her head because Rose actually has like more of a wrestling background, like more of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff. So I feel like she's more familiar with grappling than Marina is. Wrestle Marina.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, Andrade won, and
I think it puts her back in title talks too with Weili Zhang.
Yeah, it's true.
That was a big victory for Andrade.
Yeah, I feel like Andrade is just like the highest of highs and lows of lows. She goes on a main card, she'll go 3-0, then she'll be a main event. She'll lose the main event. They throw her on a prelim. She busts a girl's ass on a prelim. And then next time she's on a main event, and she just keeps like going back and forth.
And she's really fought the best too.
Yeah,
I mean, she's fought everybody. She's fought Valentina Shevchenko, Amanda Lemos, Erin Blanchfield, Yan Xiaonan. I mean, just so many big names here. Rose Namajunas, as we talked about.
Like Holly Holm, you really can't like judge Andrade's losses too harsh either, because it's like she's fighting the best people in the world.
Right.
She's not fighting bums. And the women's division is even closer than the men's. Like, if you want to fight in the women's division, what is it? There's 3 weight classes?
Yep.
So there's 3 weight classes. The men's have like 8?
Yeah.
So if you compressed it and really condensed what it would have to be, think of like 185 to heavyweight fight each other. Then like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you broke them down into 3 fight classes for men, that would get insane.
It would.
You would have Ngannou fighting Israel Adesanya, and they would have to go out there and live with the decision. And that's what the girls have to do. Every time they go out there, it's not their fault. It's Ngannou versus John Jones, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the best of the best, and there's only like 2 weight classes to go to. There's the Super 115 small weight class. But Nunes is what, 135?
Yeah, she was 135. Then she had they had the 145 for Cyborg, and then she beat her up, and then she defended her belt a couple of times at featherweight.
Yeah. And I think 145 could come back because that was also invented for Kayla Harrison.
It should be for Kayla Harrison because she looked terrible. I mean, as far as the weight cut, not in the fight, she didn't look bad.
Yeah.
Weight cut, she looked awful. But
yeah, I think 145 would be better for her. But she didn't look that bad out there.
She looked great.
Yeah, she moved well.
That was just the dominant performance as anybody else on the fight card last night.
Mm-hmm. She was giving real Brock Lesnar vibes.
Yep.
Coming in out of nowhere and just taking on one of the best in the business and just coming out on top and beasting.
Yep.
I loved it. I really did. Came out like Michael Chandler did the Hooker.
Yep.
Just came in, busted some big name up, and made a statement. Now everyone's like, okay, I trust Kayla Harrison.
And now she'll be in the rankings right away because Holly Holm is 5th, so she's getting close to a title shot now. I don't know if she would get it her next fight, but she's certainly right there.
Yeah.
for a title eliminator in her next fight.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a contender.
Because in that, what division is that? That's bantamweight.
I think she would beat what's her name? Pena.
Yeah, because Pena, it seems like it'll probably be Pena and Pennington for the title. And then Caitlin Vieira is number 2, Mayra Bueno Silva is number 3, and Aldana's number 4. And
would you want to see a Bueno Silva?
I like Bueno Silva, but after that last fight, Jesus.
What did she do? She got caught with steroids or something?
She got caught with steroids when she choked out Holly Holm, but then they still gave her a title shot against Pennington. I didn't get it.
Yeah, it was ruled a no contest.
Yeah, it was ruled a no contest, but her next fight was against Pennington, and she lost it.
Yeah,
and that was one of her worst performances. So
as it should have been. She should be embarrassed.
Yeah, Canada. They need to give Canada a great card next time because that was an embarrassment.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, but now Harrison might be one fight away from a title fight.
Yeah, it's true.
And then we had Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano.
And you already know.
That was money Moicano.
Oh wait, hold on. Let's say it. So far, I'm 3-0.
Yep, and I am
2-1.
2-1. I lost that Jim Miller
yep, fight. You're 2-1 at the moment with the prelim parlay. So now, let's go on to Moicano and Jalen Turner. I said it. I'm picking Moicano no matter what.
And we both
like Moicano's fight style. I think he's a dog.
And Turner thought he had that walk-off KO in the first round.
Yep.
He got mad at Herb Dean because he didn't stop the fight. Moicano was all there.
But that's Moicano.
Yep, that's Money Moicano.
Money Moicano. He's going to stand in the pocket. He's going to take some shots, but he's going to get back up.
Yep.
You're not stopping Moicano. And as I've heard the great Chael, we always reference Chael when we talk about the UFC because he's the man. He's Uncle Chael. He's got all the wisdom. Yep. And he said he's been in fights and talked to fighters where they thought they won. At the end of the second round or something, they're, pounding someone's head in. Basically, if the fight would have went on for 5 more seconds, the ref would have stopped it. And it's moments like that where you have this adrenaline dump where you're like, I'm in the winning position. I won. I'm here. I did it. I did my job. And then you got to go back to your corner and then do it again. And it's basically like beating someone twice. And to convince yourself to beat someone twice is incredibly hard. And it's a mental hurdle. It's the adrenaline dump. It's everything. It's even the like after the Gaethje fight, that adrenaline dump. Like the way Lee, I was tired. I got sleepy watching it. I'm like, I don't know if I could handle this. Like after that moment when you just everything changes, it's hard to make it change back to you getting a mindset where you're hungry. Because I can imagine Jalen Turner was like waiting for a kill shot, waiting for it. Boom, lands it. He's like, I got it. I won. I did it. I worked so hard. Perfect timing. I studied this guy. And he just gets up like a zombie.
Yep.
And then you're like, no way. No, I killed him. Like, you shouldn't be alive. Like, you shouldn't be back here. And Moicano comes back like a zombie, and he gets the win. And he just psychs him out. Jalen Turner, the rest of the fight was like, that was my best shot. If that can't kill him or put him down, then I got nothing else. That was my strongest weapon in my arsenal.
And it was kind of similar to the Chandler and Oliveira fight because Chandler had him hurt, almost finished him in the first round. And then I think Chandler came out, I don't know if he was tired from all the strikes he threw in the first round or he thought he had the fight finished in the first round or he was just too confident and then Oliveira slept him.
That's what happened. He got too confident where he thought Oliveira is probably just going to take a dive right here. I'm going to hit him with a 2-piece. He's going to drop. And he squared up like a dummy, which he didn't do the whole time. He was waiting for his times, and then he'd rush in and do his little Chandler thing with the Celtics fighting style. He looks like the Fighting Irish when he fights. I love Michael Chandler.
He's bouncing all around.
And he's bouncing all around, and he's like, I don't know. He just looks like the Fighting Irish logo.
Yeah.
And he's doing his thing, but he just walked up to Chandler like Chandler was about to just give him the fight. He got pieced up.
And he ran away, running away, and then he got slept.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh shit!"
You're right. He got caught, and then he
like,
tried to like backspin, and it was done. He was against the fence. He was done.
like, "Oh, Oliveira isn't hurt anymore. I gotta run away now."
Yeah.
He didn't expect that Oliveira coming out of the second round.
Yep. Oliveira came back like a zombie and was just back, and you're like, "Yo, what? I didn't know I had to do this twice."
Yeah, just like Money Moicano, and then he was killing it on the mic.
Oh man, Moicano always kills it on the mic.
There's no one better with the post fight interview.
There's nobody. Actually, I wanted to show you this one from back in the day.
I took a 5-round fight in 4 days notice. Short day notice. I was fucking drinking beer, eating steaks in Brazil. They come here. I traveled 24 hours. The motherfuckers disrespect me. I want the fucking bonus. Moicano wants money.
Moicano wants money. He was drinking beers and steaks.
Oh. Nobody.
That's the video I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Where he was talking about himself in third person. I thought it was so great. Like, that is the best thing to do. When you hop on a mic like that, just go crazy.
And last night was just as good.
Yeah, it was. It was just as good. He's telling people to read economy books. He's proud to be an American. He wants to be a police officer.
America.
That's what America's about. Nobody's more American than Moicano. You know why? Because there's nothing more American than a comeback story.
Yep.
And that's what he did. So, shout out to Moicano. Much love. And we move on. 4-0.
4-0. I'm 3-1. We both took Moicano in that fight.
Yep, we both took Moicano.
In the next fight, you kept your undefeated streak. I had Youssef, and you've been really high on Diego Lopez, and Lopez got the finish really quickly in the first round, knocked him down twice.
Mopped him up. I couldn't believe how fast he actually got rid of Youssef.
I don't think Youssef expected the fight to go that quick. I mean, I thought he was maybe going to try to ease into it a little bit more, and Lopez just didn't give him the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I think Youssef thought of Diego as kind of just like a guy, like a counter puncher, kind of just this like little evasive guy. But Diego Lopez is actually a brawler. Like, he's gonna just go in there and swing.
He's gonna go all out.
He's gonna go all out. That's what I thought, and that's what I seen. I knew he'd go all out. I didn't think he'd clean him up in the time he did. 1:30.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That was rough.
To get rid of Youssef in 90 seconds is insane.
Yeah, and so Lopez should move into the rank now. Youssef was number 13, so Lopez will be somewhere in the teens.
Yeah, so glad. Shout out to Lopez for making it. So then we can skip that fight because honestly, that fight went over so quick.
Yep.
For the most part, I really don't think Lopez is ever going to win like a world championship. I think he's more of just like a permanent contender type in that weight class.
Fan favorite.
But I still like him. I really do. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's entertaining. I think he works hard. I don't think he goes in there and, I don't know, dicks around. Like, he really just likes to fight, wants to cash some checks, wins some fight of the night bonuses, and I'll always sign up to watch that.
Right. He could definitely be on the main event.
For sure.
Another fight on this card that could be on the main event, like we were talking about.
Yeah, but normally he would be. Like, on an average night, like, I think Diego Lopez, and especially Youssef too, because Youssef's got a good name in the division.
Yep. He's fought some of the top names too.
Yeah. We can move on from this. Like I said, it was a quick fight. Not too much to analyze. Youssef got knocked down twice. He just looked outmatched. I don't think he was prepared for anything Lopez brought to him.
Yep.
We can go to maybe the most awaited fight of the night was the Kayla Harrison Holly Holm. I mean, Kayla Harrison's been waiting to make her debut in the UFC for 5 years now?
Yep.
Like, it really has felt like a long time. Like, it was pre-COVID that they were talking about Kayla Harrison coming to fight.
And the big
COVID. It's 2024 now. That was end of 2020.
Yeah, and the big question with her was she wasn't going to be able to fight at 145. They didn't know if she'd be able to make that 135 weight class, and she did.
136.
136, but
136. You could always fight 1 pound over. Can't be over 1 pound.
Right.
So she made 136. She looked real trim. I knew she would be fine because Uncle Chael, I watch his show, she did a pre-cut.
Yeah.
So she did the same thing a few months ago. There was no fight, but she acted like there was a fight.
Right.
And she did her whole weight cut. She did a mini training camp, did the dehydration. She did all that. She cut down to, I believe, like 134 or something. I know she went below she hit 135 or went like slightly below.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, all right, I could do it. I could do this again. So what they did was take the information they learned on the last cut and the mini cut, brought it to this, and maybe even was like, we could spare a pound. Like, we got this. Like, you did it. You made 135. We can be 135 and a half, 136. And that's what they did.
Yep.
So and it was very well. She had just enough energy to do what she had to do and do groundwork.
Right. And she dominated. As far as ground strikes, it was 42-1.
Yeah.
Just crazy. And then she outstruck her in the first round alone, 46-1.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. I didn't really understand Holly Holm's game plan, trying to go in the clinch and trying to take Kayla Harrison down.
I think so. When I was watching it, this is the impression I got, was Holly wanted to see if she could take her best stuff, because it wouldn't even matter. Let's say Holly went out there and did her little salt and pepper head kicks and her little jabs and stuff, and she feels her out. Then you get sweaty, and then Holly Holm, and then her trying to grapple. You know, it's harder. You're a little more slippery. That's the one advantage that I would say that I thought Holly Holm should do it. But watching it, it looked like Holly Holm brought the fight to her. So this is why I say this, is I think she wanted to see what the hell Kayla Harrison could even do. She's like, let's see. I'm going to grapple with her. I'm going to get in the clinch. Let's see what she does in the first round. I'm full of energy. I'm a 5-round fighter. I know I got it. If she hits me with her best stuff and I can't handle it in the first, I couldn't have handled it in the fourth. You know? Yeah. Like, she's going to hit me with her best shit. Let's see if I can take it. And if I take it, then I'm going to piece her up. But she, you know, it is what it is. She couldn't get away from the grip of Kayla Harrison.
And I guess now she knows what her best is.
She knows what her best is now. Don't take the fight to Kayla Harrison and give her, your body. Don't let her grab you.
Because Holly Holm can clinch. I mean, can strike in the clinch, but not with Kayla Harrison.
No, she's too strong.
Yeah, that was not a good idea. That's
the second you would have tried to knee her in the stomach or something, Kayla Harrison would have just tried to rip her aside. She would have jerked her around. It looked like she really had a good grip on her.
Yep, that's a man in the octagon right there. You see
that
her
is.
Did you see her back?
Yes, I seen her back.
Back muscles, god damn.
Her back muscles are so impressive.
Scary.
She really got a great physique. Like,
she does.
There's not many women you see built like her. That's why I was saying with Wei Li. That's why I call Wei Li LeBron.
Yeah,
because she's 115 pounds and she looks like a middle linebacker or something.
Yeah.
Like, she's not like a normal person.
Like she was built in a lab or something.
She was. Wei Li was definitely built in a lab. Kayla Harrison looks like she was built in a weight room.
Yep, and built on some steroids.
Yeah, she looks like she just sleeps on a pile of creatine powder, protein powder and she just sleeps on a whole pile of it. There's no mattress, there's no anything, no blanket. Right. She just kind of shuffles in there like a crab in the sand, and she just sleeps. She just sleeps in protein powder.
Yeah. But you kept your undefeated streak alive. That was 6-0.
6-0 in the prelim parlay.
Because I took Holly Holm like an idiot, and you took Kayla Harrison.
Yeah, Holly Holm, about like 42 years old, maybe 44. She's older.
It might be.
I just thought she was kind of brought in for this to just be like a squash match, Like, this is Holly Holm's last time where she's like a featured name against the biggest of the biggest star or the most upcoming star. She really passed the torch. Holly did have a sliver of a chance because if you remember, Kayla Harrison is a 2-time gold medalist Olympic judo wrestler.
Right.
Ronda Rousey was a judo wrestler.
And she got slept by.
And she got pieced up and slept. Why, though? Ronda Rousey tried to play the kickboxing game in the UFC. You're not a kickboxer. Kayla Harrison remembered who she was when she got in the ring. She didn't say, "Oh, I got to be like Israel Adesanya and Conor McGregor and Holly Holm, and I have to throw head kicks and try to win on the feet." No. She won. She got some. She actually had a good judo throw too.
She did. She played her game, and Holly Holm did the exact opposite.
Yeah, she looked like what Ronda Rousey did to Holly, or the vice versa. What Holly Holm did to Rousey, and that shows you Rousey could have did that to Holly Holm.
Right.
To be real, I don't think she knew what she could have done at that time, and what she did was just give distance, and that's the dumbest thing you could do to Holly Holm.
Right. Yeah, Harrison had a great game plan there.
And then you want to introduce Sterling?
Oh, so it was Aljamain Sterling made his featherweight debut against Calvin Kattar, who was ranked 8th in the featherweight rankings. We haven't seen him since I think 2022 when he tore his ACL. So he was back in action. It was a rough night for him. He had as many significant strikes as Sterling had takedowns. Kattar had 8 significant strikes, and Sterling was 8 of 13 with takedowns. So it was a rough night. It was a rough night for Kattar. Sterling, they said, had 10 minutes and 43 seconds of control time.
I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, we both picked Sterling in that one.
We both picked Sterling. Yeah,
we both thought Sterling was going to be strong on the ground. He didn't have to cut that extra 10 pounds, and it showed last night.
It did. I'm looking. Who did Kattar fight that I based this premise off of? He fought a wrestler, and I was like, oh, if he couldn't handle him, he can't. Oh, this is what it is. Josh Emmett. I went back. I watched the Josh Emmett fight, and I was like, you couldn't handle Josh Emmett?
Oh, but that's striking though. That's more striking.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Josh Emmett's got some. He's got some clinch and some like grappling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He does throw hands, but like I watched that fight and it just looked like he just wasn't. I don't know. He wasn't that strong. So something about a wrestler. I just thought he'd run through him.
Yeah, and he did. That was really dominant. So he'll be in the top 10 on Monday.
Yeah, he should be. I mean, if you look back, Kattar lost to Moicano in 2018 after beating Shane Burgos, who was the guy with the fake knockout.
Yep.
Remember, he was like,
yeah, against who was that? Was that Barbosa?
I think it was Edson Barbosa.
Barbosa. Now he's in the. I think Burgos is in the PFL now.
Mm-hmm. Getting beat up.
Yep. Still
getting beat up. And he got a big deal. They gave him like $2 million or something stupid.
Yeah, and Dana White said they made a mistake by not keeping him. But and usually Dana White doesn't say that about guys, going to
I think because they gave him so much money that he was like, whoa, did I miss something?
Right. I guess
but didn't. He didn't miss anything. He knew exactly what he did.
We haven't heard a lot from Shane Burgos since he left.
I think he went on Ariel's show and tried to make like this is like, I don't know. He just tried to make it seem like, you know how like NBA players have free agency and
right
player movement and fighter movement and everything is good for the business. And he was like trying to just like dance it up a little, but in the end, I was like, you're leaving because of the competition. You're not winning, and you're getting more money to fight lesser competition. Which, I mean, I can't blame you. But you're in the UFC. You want to be the best of the best, and that's kind of the standard that the UFC is held to. So if he doesn't want to be the best of the best, yeah, go make some entertainment. Go pretend to get knocked out somewhere else.
And he can't beat those guys either.
And he can't even beat them. So good luck to Shane Burgos. But yeah, I was just looking back at Kattar's stuff, really trying to watch what he does against guys who grapple or grab him. And he didn't look like he had anything for that type of stuff. So I already knew Sterling's going to go in there and he's going to clean him up.
But then your next fight is when the undefeated streak came to an end.
Yeah, so I was 7-0. I almost completed the entire prelim parlay until the last fight, Jiri Prohaska versus Alexander Rakic, the Rocket. And I really thought the Rocket was going to get this win. I think Rakic thought he was going to get this win. I think Jiri thought Rakic was going to get the win. Out of nowhere, Jiri just catches him on one lucky hit, and Rakic is just spiraling for a minute.
Yep.
He's literally like spinning around the ring. He's trying to find his head. Like, he looked like Velma when she loses her glasses. He's all over the ground looking for his glasses. He's everywhere. He's spinning. Where are my glasses? Fred, help me. Where are my glasses? And that was Rakic. And he was fucking killing Jiri Prohaska the entire fight. I couldn't believe it. Watching it, I'm like, there's no way he's gonna give this up. There's no way. And
every time Jiri got hit, though, it seemed like it almost angered him or something. Like, I never thought in the first or the second round that Jiri was wobbled. I mean, I thought the leg kicks hurt him. I will say I thought the leg kicks from Rakic hurt him. And
100%.
That's what affected Jiri in the Pereira fight too.
Mm-hmm.
And also Jiri fights with his hands down, and just like in the Pereira fight, he kept leaning in against Rakic.
Yeah.
Just kept eating the strikes.
He was getting hit. Yeah, I thought Jiri was putting on a little bit of a front at one point because he was getting hit and he kept like trying to charge forward and look tough and look like enraged, like you said, like he was getting angry, like he was like the Hulk. When he gets hit, he gets bigger and stronger.
It's like powered him up.
Yeah, it powered him up. For a little while, I thought it was a facade, and then when he finally like really hit Rakic and Rakic goes down, I'm like, holy shit, maybe he was hitting him with something. Maybe he was like building up to it.
And he was losing in the second round too until he went crazy. Until he caught him with the right hand and Rakic didn't know what the hell hit him.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And honestly, I thought Jiri looked sloppy again.
He did. He
looked super sloppy. Like a little noodle out there, like how Marino was fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was way too loose before. It looked like he was like performing a ritual. You know what I'm talking about? The way Jiri used to fight, it was like, I don't know, it was something crazy. The way he would bounce around, and it just looked like he was literally casting a spell or something.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of just looks more loose. I like the old Jiri, the Dominic Reyes stance that he had.
Right.
You know, like that type of fighting stance he had, I thought worked to his advantage. Right now, he seems to be, it's in the middle of like what he did to now it's like a Bobby Green type stance.
Yep.
It's a little different, right?
Yeah. I mean,
like it is this loose kind of.
He keeps his hands way too low. He's gonna get knocked out.
Keeps them lower, but before he would like move his hands from side to side. That's what I'm saying. Like the stance was totally different. The fight style, the approach. I don't know if it's something with his shoulder or maybe just something with coaching or whatever else, but it definitely does look like a different stance that I didn't trust in the last fight, and I didn't trust it going into this fight. Right. And it didn't look that good either. Like I said, Rakic got caught. Rakic was winning that fight. If the fight ended the second before Rakic got punched and we had to judge what happened this fight, you would say Rakic won.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think he got caught. He fought an incredible fight coming off an ACL injury. His legs looked super strong. He was throwing leg kicks hard as hell, throwing them like he could, I don't even know, break his own leg throwing these kicks. That's how hard they looked.
Yep.
And he was swinging hard up top. He was getting Jiri pissed because I don't think Jiri likes getting hit like that.
But the calf kicks were affecting Prohaska, though.
Yeah, they were.
But not enough, I guess.
Jiri doesn't lose with the antenna. That's what I realized, too.
With the
antenna, he doesn't lose.
Right.
The couple fights he did lose, the antenna wasn't there.
But he's right back in title talks now.
He is.
With Pereira, but Pereira said he doesn't really want to have the rematch, but he said he'll do it if the UFC wants to. But he said he wants to fight Ankalaev, who's number 3. So that would be an interesting fight too.
That would be. I would like Ankalaev in that fight. But at the same time, it's hard to get bet against Poatan.
Right.
It really is. It's getting harder and harder to bet against this dude.
I didn't last night.
Right. All right. So let's move on from the Rakic fight. Good luck to Rakic. I hope he could get it figured out. Man. Yeah, so that broke my parlay. 7-1. But then we go into Bo Nickel versus Cody Gumbridge.
Calling him
As Uncle Chael says, Cody Gumbridge, because he doesn't know his name. He's got to earn it.
He's
You got to earn it. If you want me to remember your name, you got to do something memorable.
Yep.
You know? So that's what Chael said. Gumbridge, you want me to get your name right? Beat Bo Nickel. He didn't beat Bo Nickel, so he's still Gumbridge.
He's still Gumbridge.
How do you think, what's his name? Fury got his name back. Tommy Fury.
Yep.
Remember Chael was calling him Will Fleury.
He beat Jake Paul.
Will Fleury. It wasn't even close to his name. Tommy Fury, Will Fleury. But he's like, hey, until he earns my respect, until he gets a win and shows me he's good, I'm not saying his name right. I'm not getting it right. So
even Yuri's name.
Right. Oh my God.
His his last name was crazy.
He said it 8 different ways. I wonder if hold on. I might just Chael jury name. Let's see if they still have this. I'm sorry, but this is excellent content that we need to lead with right now. You'll see. You guys will see. So let me turn this up.
How good?
All right, right here.
And the
enjoy
Yuri Prokayevs of the world.
Prokayev.
You know how good Prokayev is.
Prokayev.
And I'm familiar with Yuri because I'm good friends with King Mo. I remember seeing Prokayev back then, and to use
Prokayev.
He's a problem.
Prokayev.
Ryan, help me out. Prokayev, Yuri or Jury? We're gonna have to find that one out. 205 pounds.
We're gonna have to find. He doesn't give a shit.
See?
Is it Prokayev?
Prokayev.
I have a guy who's 28 who believes he's young. Prokoski. You're not young. Not young.
Wait, what was this one?
You're not young. Prokoski.
Hold up.
He forgot letters.
You're not young. Prokoski. Provider. You're not. 28 is not young. You are old. Somebody needs to get a hold of Pravaki here and tell him 20. You're not a young man. Better.
Pravaki.
It's not going to be long until people don't want John. They want Provakovich. It's not going to be long. I think Prokoska's a great idea. Prokoska is a great example. I wasn't overly interested in the guy. Maybe more than any light heavyweight out there. I want to see Prokoska. See just how good is he, just how far can he go. You also can't expect me as a guy who has a brain to not tease that. Of course I'm going to tease that.
Recordings.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say his name anymore.
I don't either.
I can't remember the correct pronunciation.
Is it Yuri or Jury?
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Is it Prokrayev?
Prolav.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
Prokofsky. He called him like Parliament at one point or something. Like,
or the way he pronounces Islam Makhachev.
Oh yeah, Makalchev.
Yeah, he'll say Makhachev. That one's really good too.
Islam Makalchev. I even catch myself saying Makalchev sometimes.
I every time I say Makhachev, I think Makhachev. I almost say it because
I always have to catch myself right before I say it. I'm like Makalchev.
Right.
Not Makalchev.
But Cody, what's Cody's last name again?
Gumbridge.
Okay,
so I'll put it across. I'll make a banner just for Cody Gumbridge.
I was used to Brundage, but I apologize. I was pronouncing his name wrong.
Yeah, you were unfamiliar with his game.
All right, my fault. But yeah,
this is the new one.
But Cody Gumbridge probably had the most success against Bo Nickel.
He did. He brought him to the second round. No one has ever brought Cody Gumbridge to the second round. So shout out
Bo
to
Nickel.
Gumbridge.
No one has brought Bo Nickel to the second round.
Well, yeah, nobody has brought Bo Nickel to the second round. Gumbridge hasn't made it to the second round either because he's too busy getting knocked out.
Yep. And he got 4 significant strikes, which is the most anybody has ever gotten on him. Because nobody got off a significant strike in his 2 Dana White Contender Series fights. His first fight, Jamie Pickett got 1 strike off, and Val Woodburn got 2 strikes off in his last one. So,
I mean, I will say Bo Nickel looked a little more human.
He did.
At times, like Bo Nickel has looked like he's made out of metal. Like he's like Iron Man. Like he goes in there with a mech suit, and everyone is just a human fighting a robot. This time, it looked like he could be beat, even though he never even looked like he was in trouble.
Yeah, because
something about his confidence, his something actually looked like he could have got beat that night.
But he controlled him for most of the fight.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to critique him. I mean, it was still a second round finish. He's still undefeated. He's finished every fight he's in. So it just seems like he's getting better and better.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about Bo Nickel that fight where I was like,
you don't trust him.
I don't know. Something about it. He looked extremely human, which we all are. But something about it. Some of these guys just come in and they're unbeatable. Like there's some guys who are just the GOATs. For a while, he looked like that. I think he should have mopped up Gumbridge quicker. Especially like this guy wasn't even really fighting back on the ground like that. Like he kind of just looked like he was trying to stay safe.
Right.
And he couldn't finish him. I don't know.
But
I still think Bo Nickel's a badass.
Definitely. You got back in the win column though. We both picked Bo Nickel in this one.
Yep. So what's your record so far? I'm 8-1.
All right. What is that? 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, 4-3, 5-3, 6-3. I'm 6-3 right now.
6-3? Okay.
6-3 going into the Oliveira and Arman Sarukian fight.
You picked Charlie Olives, and I picked Sarukian.
Yep.
And here, let me take down the Gumbridge banner. We're done with Gumbridge.
Done with Gumbridge.
But yeah, so the Sarukian fight. Never bet against the Armenians.
I guess not.
That's my quote. So yeah.
Put that across the screen.
Ever since I started working in mini Armenia, the Armenians are undefeated in the UFC, and I think it's a sign.
Don't mess with Armenia.
Arman's 2-0.
He is.
Arman's 2-0 since I started working in Glendale. So,
and it was a close fight, but I thought Arman had gotten the first and the third round.
Yeah.
Or no, was it the first round? No, the second and third. It was second and third. Yeah, because Oliveira almost had did he almost have a submission? I thought he almost had a submission in the first round. I guess not. He had control.
I think he had the guillotine.
Yeah, that's what it doesn't show it. Oh yeah, he had 4 submission attempts.
Yeah. He had that one guillotine. It did look deep. I'm surprised Arman got out of it. But Arman's nice. The way he flipped and got out of another submission attempt by Charles, I was surprised.
Yeah. His reversals were on point.
On another level.
His scrambling was great last night.
Yep.
But and Oliveira had that guillotine in the first round when they weren't sweaty either. And he wasn't able to lock it up. Then he had that Darce choke in the final seconds of the final round.
Yeah.
Which was a good visual for the judges for Oliveira, but I think Sarukian still took that third round.
No, Sarukian laid flat too. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
You seen that? He even dropped his hands. Yep. He wasn't even fighting the headlock no more. He dropped his hands and laid forward. I'm like, oh my God, he's giving it. He's giving the fight to Olives.
Yeah, I thought he was going out, but
then the bell rings. Arman hops up and jumps on the wall and climbs up and looks like he was busting ass the whole time. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that headlock was at the end where he drops his hands and he looks like he's asleep.
Yeah, it must have been.
It looked like the ref was about to call it, and now this dude's doing a backflip off the cage.
It must have not have been that tight, I guess.
Something about it.
Or he didn't have it. He didn't have his hands grasped right, or didn't have it around his neck the right way.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe Arman's neck is just that strong or something. Maybe. It looked like it. I mean, from that guillotine, dry guillotine, it looked like Arman's like he's strong.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of those the neck push-ups that Tyson was doing.
Yeah, that was scary.
Like that's, I mean, Arman's built like that. He's like a solid muscle.
Yep.
All right, so we move on. 9-1.
What am I? 6-4.
6-4.
God damn.
Now we move on to the BMF.
Another
the baddest motherfucker, and we get a knockout right at the end. Photo finish, buzzer beater knockout, literally buzzer beater knockout. He got hit. By the time his body hit the canvas, the bell rang. Like that was on another level. Craziest fight. It was super. I want to say it was competitive. I do think Max was winning it regardless. It seemed like a 4-1 victory, but 10 seconds left. Max says, stand right here. Stand right here. We're throwing. And they just start wailing away, throwing as hard as they can after fighting for 25 minutes. And Max just comes down with the kill shot with 1 second to go. Puts Gaethje to sleep. BMF champ.
But respect to Gaethje too, because not a lot of people will go in the middle of the octagon and swing with Max like that, even if it's for 10 seconds. So respect to Gaethje for that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big respect to Gaethje for everything that he's done for the division. I mean, he's been just like the guy to beat. Islam has been like this untouchable thing that no one even feels is realistic to win. Gaethje, it feels like you're facing somebody like you could do it. Right. If you beat it, you'd feel really good about it. You'd feel good about yourself. It's like, I don't even know. Like, Islam's like almost like a Jordan figure. Like, you can't beat him, He's like Khabib. You don't even expect to beat Khabib if you fight him. You just kind of want to survive.
Yeah. You just want to make
Gaethje feels like you could fight him, slug it out. He's going to hit you as hard as he can. You got to hit him as hard as you can, and he'll let you hit him too. You don't even care.
And it was crazy that Max hit him with his heel and looked like he probably broke his nose.
His heel?
It didn't look like his heel on that spinning kick in the first round, at the end of the first round.
Oh, I have to see that.
Max Holloway hit him. It looked like his heel, and then his nose was busted for the rest of the fight.
That's what it was from? It was from that kick?
Yeah, at the end of the first round, like the final second of the first round.
Final second of the first round? All right.
Yeah, you got
to have to go back and check it out. You know who threw a crazy kick that I forgot to mention?
Oh, yeah.
Arman Sarukian, bro. He threw an axe kick. Do you know I did Taekwondo, and to get my blue belt, I had to throw an axe kick through a board. And when I see him throw that axe kick and it lands, it hits Charlie Olives in the face. I'm like, no fucking way he just threw an axe kick in a real fight.
Yeah, the picture looked crazy when they had a picture of it. It looked ridiculous.
Oh my God, watching it live, as soon as I seen the kick go high, I knew it was an axe. Like, he didn't even drop it yet. And I'm like, he's throwing an axe kick. He's throwing an axe kick. And it comes down, bang, hits him. I'm like, let's fucking go. It was so exciting because I can't tell you, it was very hard for me to like do the axe kick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was something that I just respect the move.
Right.
Like it really is just such a high degree of difficulty to put your foot above your own head and then have it break something at like eye level. And that's basically what you have to do. You have to put your foot above his head, and then he had to hit Charles Olives, who I think Charles Oliveira is taller than Arman Sarukian.
Mm-hmm.
So to hit that dude with an axe kick in his forehead means if Arman is, let's see what the heights are, because I'm serious. This is like,
yeah, that means you're bringing up your leg high as hell.
Arman's 5'7", and Charles Oliveira is 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, so
Charles Oliveira is substantially taller than him by at least 3 inches, and he got his heel to hit Charles Oliveira's forehead. It doesn't even seem mathematically possible. And that's what I'm saying. It was such an extremely high-level technique that I was mind blown. halfway through the move. He didn't even finish it yet, and I'm like, no way he's throwing an axe kick. And no way this is actually going to land either.
Right.
God bless him. I can't believe he did it.
But going back to that, the Gaethje and Holloway fight, what do you think is next for Gaethje after that loss? You think it could be him and Oliveira both coming off losses? I mean, I don't know if you do that rematch since the first fight was so dominant for Oliveira.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who else Gaethje would fight. Matu Gamrot's number 5. Gaethje's number 2 right now. We know Michael Chandler's going to be fighting McGregor. Chandler's number 6. Dariush is 7th. Gaethje already beat Rafael Fiziev. It's just kind of a weird spot for him, I feel like. Poirier's fighting for the belt.
I know Poirier's fighting for the belt. Gaethje just got slept.
I just feel like he's in such a weird position. I don't know who he would fight next.
Maybe Gamrot.
Yeah, that was my thinking.
And Gamrot's a wrestler, and I think Gaethje's an American wrestler.
Right. So
I think it would be interesting. I think that Gaethje has the tools to stop what Gamrot does.
Yeah, that's the only fight that makes sense to me.
And he could force Gamrot to stand, and I think Gaethje could beat him on the feet.
What if you do Money Moicano and Gaethje?
Ooh, I'm picking Gaethje, but that would be interesting.
Picking Gaethje, right?
Yeah, I'm picking Gaethje in that fight. But that would be really, really fun.
Right.
Because Moicano isn't even on the ranking list. He's beat Rafael dos Anjos.
No, he's 13th.
Oh, he is. He's 13. He's 13. He is.
But he should move up higher now because he beat Turner, who's 10th.
Right. Yeah. He should move up. Honestly, Moicano and Hooker would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be
cool.
But
I think Hooker's fighting someone he's gonna get killed by. Who does he want to fight? He wants to fight Gamrot.
Let me see.
I think Hooker said he called somebody out and he said he wants to fight Gamrot. I don't know why he wants to fight Gamrot because he knows he's gonna just get thrown to the ground for 5 rounds.
Yeah, he doesn't have a fight set up, so it's nothing official yet.
Yeah, it was something. I think he went on Ariel's show. He was sitting on the new couch, and he was talking about how he wants to fight Gamrot.
It's Benoit Saint Denis.
That what? Who?
That he wants to fight Dan Hooker.
I mean, he called out Gamrot, but okay, if he wants to fight Saint Denis, that's fine.
Yeah, he wants to fight Saint Denis in September, it says.
Okay, so if he fights Saint Denis, then Saint Denis is gonna get the dub.
You think so?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh yeah. Big time dub.
So that was, what was that? You're 10-1 now?
Yeah, 10-1 after the Max Holloway fight. So, man, these parlays would have been crazy. 10-1. You could say that I talk bullshit. You could say I got these crazy stories about everything. But when I actually do the math and I put these things together, 10-1. Who's betting with me? 10-1. Come make some money.
You got it, and you got this one right too. We both got the next one right.
Next fight, Wei Lee versus Yan.
And that was kind of wild, the end of that first round, because Yan looked like she was out.
Yeah.
And she really, if it was another 5 seconds, that fight would have been over.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it was an intense fight. I mean, Wei Lee is just too much. That's just the way I see it.
Yeah, she just can't compete with her on the ground. That's the only thing. But you see the last 2 fights with Wei Lee, she's had trouble, staying on the feet with other strikers, Amanda Lemos and now Yan Xiaonan, because she had her stunned a little bit. Xiaonan had her stunned a couple of times in that fight, more than a couple of times in that fight.
Yeah.
But she had a knockdown. She had a knockdown on Wei Lee.
Yep.
And that may be one of the first times. Let me see how many times she got knocked down. She got knocked down by Namajunas. That was the only time.
Well, yeah, that was the head kick, right?
Yeah, that was the only time she's gotten knocked down by Namajunas and now Xiaonan. And that was 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just is what it is. It's a crazy fight league, but regardless, I think Wei Lee's still one of the best, or the best.
Yeah, she just dominated on the ground there. 12 minutes and 44 seconds of control time. Went 6-9 with takedowns. But went 3 of 3 with takedowns. She did a pretty good job with her. I mean, she held her own in there.
Yeah, she did. But the significant strikes and the total strikes, when you really look at them, like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Wei Li threw triple the punches.
Yeah, not even close.
327 to 116. Like that's almost triple.
For real.
Yeah. So that one, I don't know. It felt very easy to me that I thought Wei Li was going to beat Yan here. Just watching a few of Yan's fights, just the way they fight, I just thought Wei Li would have the ground time, and she did. Like you said, almost half the fight. It went 5 rounds with decision.
Yep.
25 minutes, and Wei Li owned ground time 12 and a half minutes of it. So, yeah, like that alone, I mean, will get you a win just owning ground time for half the fight. So she had a couple good cracks on the feet. Yeah, she got hit, but at the same time, like after that first round, I was surprised. I really was. Like Yan lasted 5 rounds.
Yeah, I think if she just sticks with wrestling, I don't think anybody can beat her. But as far as the striking, she has some holes in her game.
For sure. She's just got to stick to the physicality.
Yep.
Like you said, wrestle, and she'll get her wins. Now, so we move on. I move on to 11-1, and you go to.
What did I have? 7. I was 6-4 going into the Gaethje fight. So 6-5, 7-5.
7-5. All right, and then last fight, you picked Pereira. I picked Jamal Hill.
At the last second, we both had Pereira, and then let me go with Hill.
My only true loss was Rakic. Let's be real.
I wrote it down. We wrote it down.
No, I know, but you just said it. Last second, I switched, and it was only because I didn't want to just agree on the last fight of the night. Right. I wanted to have like a little something on the show, something on the pod that was a little controversial. Nobody likes a show where you're just like, yeah, the whole time. People already have critiques on LeBron and JJ Redick's pod.
Yep.
Because LeBron just kind of just goes, yeah, the jump shot. And JJ Redick will go,
yeah.
I love Cole Anthony's jump shot. And he goes, yeah, the jump shot. And he goes, and Cole Anthony's playmaking. You know, nobody just wants this like backseat ass driver. So I was going to pick Poatan. I gave the whole speech for Poatan. And then we were like, you're picking Poatan. I don't want to both pick Alex Pereira. So for the final, I went with Hill. I said he's a basketball player. And I think to be a basketball player, he's a collegiate basketball player, you got to have a deep bag. You got to have some moves. You got to have counters for a lot of different situations. So I just thought maybe he'll have some counters for Poatan, but that's just not the case. I didn't fully believe that take all the way through. You know, I liked him. I definitely did. I liked Jamal Hill in the matchup. I think Jamal Hill has like huge hands too, so I think he's got heavy hands. Poatan, I don't know if he's used to that because Israel Adesanya's got like skinny hands and stuff. Like Jamal Hill's hands are like catcher's mitts. They're really big. I know it sounds funny, but he's got heavy hands and 4-ounce gloves. So I was thinking, you know, if he gets his mitts on Poatan, catches him a couple times on the chin, it'll add up. But
then he kicked him in the cup, and then he was trying to stop the fight, and Pereira was like, no. It was like, no. And then 2 seconds.
I got it.
2 seconds later, he caught him with the left hand, and it wasn't even that clean of a strike.
It wasn't.
I mean, it didn't seem. I mean, I guess obviously it was clean enough, but it didn't really seem like it got him flush. But then his eyes rolled back, and that was
He was like, whoa.
That was crazy. That the replay they had in slow motion, his eye, he did this. Yep. So Pereira's hilarious.
And Hill was like,
he didn't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it didn't look like the cleanest hit, and I'm gonna agree with that. It didn't look like the cleanest hit, but it rocked him.
Yeah, but for Pereira, it doesn't have to be.
Right.
That's how strong he is.
It was a Johnny Walker ass knockout.
No, that nothing.
Nah, that one was the worst ever. There's no worse knockout than that Johnny Walker knockout.
His arm
got punched right here and just said.
His arms went crazy.
He saluted on the way out.
He saluted.
Man, Johnny Walker's fight. That was hilarious. But yeah, it wasn't a clean punch. But we end the fight, and I was what, 10-2?
No.
11-2?
Yeah, 11-2.
11-2.
I was 8.
And then you had pretty good. You had some good calls.
Yep. Yeah, I'll take 8-5. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, 8-5 still solid. You know, I say as long as you stay over 500 with predictions, nobody can be mad at you.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So yeah, that's pretty solid. And I feel like I had a Hall of Fame night for me.
You did.
11-2, should have been 12-1, but I'm not gonna throw the claws on it. I picked Jamal Hill. I got to die on the hill. And I died on the hill.
Bars.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams, bars.
Sweet dreams Hill, Jamal Hill.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all got to make sure you listen to what the hell we're talking about. Now we got some credence to what we're saying. We got real facts. You can say we're talking some nonsense, but we end up right. So who's really full of nonsense?
Bars. Again.
Right. All right. So we did the Moicano video. UFC 300. Anything else that stood out to you? The intros. I thought the intros were cool.
Yep.
All of them felt like really well produced and everything. None of them kind of just felt like the guy was running out there. Everyone cared. But they were all people who have been in main events before and have gotten, probably bigger budgets to do what they want. So.
And they were hoping for that $300,000 bonus too.
Right. So everyone wanted to add something extra to the story to try to spruce up the fight. I loved it. Like this really was the best UFC ever.
And Holloway got $600,000.
So he got fight of the night and what of the night? And
performance of the night.
Performance. Is there a difference?
Or maybe it was.
Because he did. He got POT and then the FOT or whatever.
Yeah. So
whatever the hell it's called, FON, PON.
And Prohaska got a performance too. I was like, okay, kind of weird.
Maybe it was him charging up like the Hulk.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They didn't want to give it to Bobby Green and Jim Miller. I get it.
That was a great fight, though.
That was a great fight. I think it was a little too early.
But I think he said he was going to give money to some of the other people that got finishes, like Lopez and Harrison.
Who did? Who said that?
Dana White said he'd give them money, not $300,000, but he said like he always does, I'll take care of them. So
okay.
So that's cool. Yeah,
that's good. I like to see that then. Diego Lopez getting a little bonus. Moicano. Moicano likes steaks.
He needs the steaks.
He needs the big steaks, big checks. So.
But the night was capped off with those the new fight announcements.
Oh yeah, so let's get into that. So we have Michael Chandler. Actually, first is coming Islam Poirier on June 1st, and Strickland versus Paulo Costa. I think something's gonna happen in that fight.
And watch the Poirier and Makhachev. I got Makhachev in that one.
I have Poirier.
The same thing for Poirier.
I know.
Another wrestler, and Makhachev has great stand-up.
I know his stand-up's getting better.
Yeah, his stand-up is better than Khabib's, and we already know Makhachev is great on the ground. So I don't know.
I might just take Poirier for it because I've heard too many rumors of him wanting to leave the division and go to 170. He doesn't like going cutting and doing all that shit. I mean, Islam's a weight bully. He's somebody who should be in 170, but he cuts to 155 to be bigger, to have a bigger physique than the average 55er.
And he doesn't even fight. He doesn't even fight lightweights.
Right.
Fights featherweights.
Yeah, he fights 45-pound guys who fight at 45, and he should be at 170. Islam's a little bit of a weight bully, but I think Poirier's another guy. Started off a 45-pounder, Yeah,
it's crazy he was able to cut to 45.
It's kind of not. I mean, I feel like later in life he's just kind of bulked up. His core, everything's gotten thicker. He's just like a thicker dude now. but early he was skinnier. Kind of like McGregor, same thing. McGregor's thicker now than he was before. McGregor was fighting at 135. He came up like that.
Right.
I think in Cage Warriors he was 135.
That's crazy too.
That was his first belt.
Seeing what he looks like now.
You can see it. If you go back and watch his old Cage Warrior fights, dude had like negative muscle. His chest was like flat. He wasn't bulky like he is now.
But at 145, that was some of the scariest weight cuts. It didn't even look like McGregor. Some of those weight cuts he had. His face. He was really unrecognizable. It didn't look like him at all.
Mm-hmm. But I thought at 145 he was a killer too.
Undefeated.
Undefeated. He was kind of like Figueiredo, just a unique type of a body that could drop down and keep that power with like no fat on him. You know, Figueiredo at 125 looked insane. He looked like a bug.
Mm-hmm.
And then McGregor at 145 looked pretty toned too.
But it's crazy. Makhachev hasn't fought an actual lightweight since October of 2022.
Yeah, you know, that's a problem.
That's insane.
It is. It's actually kind of crazy to the division. It's kind of disrespectful.
And how do you feel about the Paulo Costa and Sean Strickland fight?
Oh, that's what I was talking about, by the way. I wasn't even talking about Islam and Dustin. I was talking about Strickland and Costa. So what I think is going to happen is Costa's going to miss weight and something else is going to happen.
He's going to purposely miss weight again?
Not purposely, but he's just not going to make weight and the fight can't happen. So someone else is going to fill in.
And who do you think that's going to be?
It could be anybody. I'm not saying who it's going to be, but I'm saying that it's not Costa.
Okay. This
is a placeholder. That's all this is right now.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about the fight. It's just a toss up to me. I don't.
Does Costa even deserve a title shot?
Yeah, and Costa's 7th. Strickland's number 1.
But Strickland fought and won it off of like a low ranking, right?
That's true. I mean, I think he came off of beating a guy who wasn't even ranked to fight Adesanya.
I think he was like 8 or 9 or 7 too.
Yeah, he wasn't that high.
He was one of them. He was 9 through 7 when he got the title shot. Duplessis, same thing. Wasn't he lower for a while?
He might have moved up because he had that win against Whitaker that set him up for the title shot.
Yeah, you're right. He did have the win against Whitaker that shot his rank up high right before the fight. You're right.
So Duplessis was probably top 2 at least.
Yeah, just from the Whitaker ranking. You're right. But yeah, I mean, Strickland got it. So if, the champ gave you a shot when you were ranked 7th, you can't say no when the 7th ranked guy says, hey, give me a shot.
Yeah,
I get that much, but Paulo Costa or Bola Pasta, as I should call him, that's bars, Bola Pasta, he's not making weight. I'm sorry. I want to give a prediction, but that's my prediction for this fight. It's not happening.
Yeah, it's a toss-up to me. I don't know. I feel like I'll take Strickland by decision. I think it's just going to be kind of a point fight.
I would take Costa if it happens.
You say Costa, yeah. I'll take Strickland by decision.
No, Costa's wrestling is actually kind of crazy, and he's dumb strong. So he does have like this brute strength thing that he could just pull out, and he could use that tool. I think that's what you would need to do on Strickland. Strickland's got that bad bum knee. No one has really attacked that knee properly. I think Costa could.
Yeah, nobody really tries to wrestle Strickland, I guess.
At all. At all. And the dude literally has one leg. So it's like, why aren't you guys doing this?
Yeah, you just stand up and strike with him.
And they just stand and throw, and he just does that stupid little Philly shell, and he's going to piece you up, and he's going to do what he does. And it's hard to beat. But I think Paulo Costa, like, if they're just standing in the middle of the ring or whatever, Paulo Costa can literally just spear him, like just bum rush the guy, And I think he's got enough power and enough strength that he could bum rush Sean Strickland. Whether he eats a shot in the process or not, whether you survive that shot, who knows? But I don't think Strickland's gonna like do a flying knee while Paulo Costa tries to, go for a takedown. He's just like not that athletic. That's something like Alex Pereira would do. Pijera, I should say. But Strickland, no. I think he's got decent sprawling, and he tries to get out quick. He has good instincts. He's very fast with his reflexes. But like I said, he's still on one leg. I feel like a lot of people don't fight like he has one leg, but he does. So I'm taking Costa.
All right.
Costa for the victory, and then that opens up the rematch for Adesanya. Adesanya goes in there, beats him, and then he fights Duplessis after because they need the fight. The King of Africa needs to be settled.
The King of Africa.
Is it Izzy or is it Drakus?
We'll find out.
We'll find out with that one
later this year.
And then 303. 303.
Got it. I got it.
303. I think that was, what was that from? It was from something in my childhood, like when I was a teenager. 303. What was that? This was like someone was doing this for something.
I don't know. It
was either a band, it was a song. Something was 303. That's the reason why I know that. And I seen the 303. I wrote it down for Chandler and McGregor, and I'm like, 303, isn't it the thing? Anyway, McGregor versus Chandler, International Fight Week. It's right after the Chimaev fight. How you feeling?
I'm gonna I think I'll take McGregor in the second round.
McGregor in the second.
I'll take McGregor by KO in the second.
That's interesting.
I think I think Chandler's gonna come out firing in the first round. I think McGregor will weather the storm, take his time, and then sleep him in the second round.
In the second round. All right. You know what? I'll agree with that. I want McGregor to win, and I do think McGregor's his window of opportunity is in the first two rounds.
Yep, because after that he gets gassed.
Yeah, he gets gassed, and he seems to lose every fight that goes past 3 rounds.
And it's also at 170.
It is at 170.
70. So
they're not dropping too much.
Right.
Oof, that's tough.
So I don't know if his gas tank's going to be as good. So maybe, I don't know, maybe the second round isn't the best pick.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's a 5-rounder. It's the main event?
Yep.
All right, so it's 5 rounds. God damn.
It's definitely not going to last 5 rounds one way or the other.
I've seen Chandler go 5.
Yeah, Chandler can go 5.
I just don't know if he could go 5 anymore.
Right.
Because he's been like the 3-round, wind up for a little while. He just goes all out for 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Like when he fought Gaethje.
Yeah, but then when McGregor fought Diaz the second time, he looked exhausted in those championship rounds.
He did, and that was at 155, but that's also against Nate Diaz, who weaponizes pace.
Yeah. Even though he won that fight too.
Yeah. Right. But I don't know. I really don't. I think good luck to McGregor. I think the best thing that'll ever happen is McGregor victory, even if he loses his next fight. But if McGregor took all this time off and then comes back to another loss, it's just not going to look good in the UFC.
Yeah, I don't know how you come back from that. There's so much pressure on him right now.
Because if he loses, I don't know if I want to see him fight again, to be honest.
Yeah, because he's already on a 2-fight losing streak.
And it's like Silva, he broke his leg, and then he just kind of went on this downward spiral where
it
wasn't really that fun anymore. And the only thing that would make it fun was when they put Silva versus Adesanya, and you're our old goat with the new goat.
Right.
Oh, this is fun. So it would have to be Paddy will have to win his next 2 fights or something. McGregor loses to Chandler. The only way to keep the interest would be McGregor Paddy or something like that, pass the torch of the way Silva did to Israel Adesanya. But after that, I don't know if I'd want to see, like I said, I don't know if I want to see McGregor fight unless it's Paddy or some fun fight. Tony Ferguson could be a fun fight for McGregor.
What if he fights or he was supposed to fight Dos? What if he fights Dos Anjos like he was supposed to do?
RDA, maybe, but RDA, like, he might just get in a wrestling match, and I don't want to see McGregor in a wrestling match.
Yeah, at least with Chandler and McGregor, we know it's going to be striking.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at with it. Like, I want it to be fun. It's either a Nate Diaz rematch, a torch passing, something like that. But other than that, if he loses to Chandler, kick him to the curb.
It's going to kill me.
I've just bought his whiskey for St. Patty's Day. I bought some Proper 12. I always support the Irishman.
Right.
I like Conor McGregor. We're Irish. We got to support. But, like, at some point, you just got to hang it up. And I think if he loses, hang it up. If you win, go for the gusto. Go fight Islam. And if you can, pull Khabib out of retirement. It's the only way.
That'll be the biggest fight ever.
That'll be the biggest fight ever. If McGregor fights Islam and the whole thing is to get Khabib out of retirement, now it's 3 people fighting. You know, like, there's an extra person in it. So now you have Khabib fans, Islam fans, McGregor fans, all pulled into one fight, and that's as big as it could get. You have the entire, Muslim world rooting for Khabib and Islam, and then you have McGregor, who's just kind of like this Eurocentric, Western Hemisphere. People root for him on this side. Eastern Hemisphere root for Khabib. It's like this world fight.
Right.
And it's kind of fun like that. And I think that's how Khabib and McGregor, their first fight, or their only fight, was. I feel like everyone tuned in for it. He just dropped Proper 12 too. So I got the original case of Proper 12. I bought a bottle, and then for this St. Patrick's Day, I bought the sour apple flavor just to try something different too. So I tried that out. Supporting the guy, just trying to support. Anyway, I don't think we have too many other things. Did you hear of any other fights for International Fight Week, or is it just McGregor and Chandler announced right now?
No, just those. Dana White announced them at the press conference, those 3 fights last night. That was it.
All right, and then
there's no fights next week, so then we'll just talk about NBA next week.
Yeah, NBA next week is going to be playoff picture and then NBA awards.
The playoffs will already start by the time we get to the podcast. We'll already be 2 days into the playoffs.
Oh, really? It's going to be 2 days into the playoffs?
Or no, 1 day, because I think the playoffs start Saturday. Yeah, the playoffs start Saturday, so that'll be the first 4 games.
Damn. Well, that's okay. It's not like the first round's over.
Yeah.
And if anything, is that just going to be the play-in?
No, that's actually first day of playoffs. But we could still make our predictions.
Yeah, you can still make our predictions one game in, whatever.
All right.
It's just the timing, and we do this once a week. So you got to deal with it, guys. At least you get your UFC predictions a week in advance.
11-2.
Could have won 11-2, and if you really read between the lines, 12-1. I will say, I really thought Pereira had the best opportunity, but yeah, Rakic, I was dead wrong. I thought Rakic was gonna win, and shit,
he looked like he had it.
He looked like he fucking had it. He really got caught. If I could have went 13-0 in UFC 300, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. I would have did a handstand on stream.
We'd never hear the end of it.
Never. You already know you would have never heard the end of it if I would have went 13-0.
Every time the show opens.
Oh my God. It was like Cam Thomas dropping 41 on Brunson. That's what I want to talk about.
In a losing effort.
In a losing effort. But he dropped 41 on Brunson and then pushed him because they were getting a little chippy, like the possessions before, and because the game was close, there was already some fouling. At like 2 minutes and 10 seconds, they start doing Hack-a-Mitchell. So they start hacking Mitchell Robinson. He goes like 2 for 4. I think he shot 50% on both. 1 for 2 at each time he went to the line when they hacked him, kind of like a hack-a-shack. But then at 2 minutes, it cuts off. You can't hack-a-shack for the last 2 minutes. So then they had to play real basketball. They're going back and forth. Cam Thomas runs down the court, pump fakes, gets Mitchell Robinson jumping. Looks like he slid his pivot foot a little bit, shoots the three, gets fouled, makes all 3 foul shots, and then comes back. And I mean, he pushes Jalen Brunson, but where could he have fouled that man? Jalen Brunson turned his back to out of bounds, right?
Right.
Like he caught it and turned his back. Cam Thomas is running full speed from the block to the corner on the baseline. I mean, on the sideline to foul, right? So you're coming from the block to the top of the left wing to foul. He has to run as fast as he can. He took 3 to 4 steps and he fouls.
Right.
I didn't think it was excessive.
No, but they reviewed it and they said it wasn't. So
they said it wasn't, but they gave a double tech for OG running up to Cam Thomas and chest bumping him and talking shit. And Cam Thomas said, "You said it was a foul. I fouled him. What are you gonna do about it, bitch?"
That's crazy that OG said something too.
OG came up, tried to check him.
Because OG's usually pretty quiet.
Yeah, OG's usually pretty quiet about that. I do respect that he came up and tried to back up Brunson, but what I respect more is that Cam Thomas didn't need no backup. You feel me?
Let him know.
He didn't need no backup. If Jalen Brunson pushed Cam Thomas to the ground, you know what would have happened? Thomas would have been in Jalen Brunson's face.
No, and Michael would have started laughing.
He wouldn't have had Mikal Bridges going to Jalen Brunson's face. You think that would have happened? No.
Mikel would have just started laughing on the side.
Mikel would have dapped him up and said, "Good shit, this dude didn't pass it to me last possession." Fuck CT. That's what Mikel would have did.
Crazy.
But yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy game. 41 in the Knicks. You know, that's big. You score 41 in the Garden, like, you know, they actually have a stat. Hold on. I think I actually have it real quick. I saved it. I know I saved it somewhere, and I think I saved it. Oh, no. Shit. But, yeah, it was basically people who scored 40 in the Garden, and it was like over the past maybe 20 years, and it was pretty big names for his age and who he compared to. It was like Luka, Jokic, I think Trae Young.
Curry was probably up there.
No. Curry, but maybe not for the age. I could be wrong on that, where they put it. Because Curry's obviously lit up the Garden, but I don't know if it was at like the right age that they listed. Right. And then there was this other stat that I thought was crazy. Was this one. I know you can't see it, but I just want to show that it's a real NBA graphic. So lowest draft position with over 14 or 15 games with 30 points. So 15 is the cutoff. And it's Jalen Brunson, 33rd pick, Nikola Jokic, 41st pick, and Cam Thomas, 27th. They're the 3 players with 15 games over 30 that have been picked under 27. So they did, like, Cam Thomas still is included in this. It was a slightly weird stat, but he's still in there in these lower draft positions. So anyone drafted 27th and below has never scored over 30 15 times. And he's done it at 22. And these guys, their stats are counting now.
Right.
So Brunson's only had 34 since his rookie year, games with 30 points. Jokic has only had 28. CT's already there. Granted, he's not a second rounder. I did think it was a slightly cherry-picked stat that you don't do the cutoff at 30, you do it at 27, whatever. But then there's just all these little other stats that you see that are like the 40 points in the Garden. Nobody does that shit. He's already had the comeback victory, the 20-point victory comeback. I thought it was going to be another one. And then he also had this stat too, which he broke because this is the thing. Oh, man. Yeah, you can't see any of this shit. It's hard. I should just send these to myself and then screen share them on the computer. Bad plan. But anyway, this is how it is. So it's behind the numbers, most 30-point games, 22 or younger, blah, 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 overall draft pick, which is basically kind of like the same stat they just did to compare Brunson and Jokic with late picks. But this time, they're comparing them against first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty good. So we got Edwards, 28 30-point games. Cunningham, 18. This says 14, but this is before the Knicks game. So this is actually 15, and he's two higher than Jalen Green, who was drafted in the same draft, and 25 picks in front of him from second pick to 27th. And Jalen Green has had the reins since he got in the NBA. He's been the number one option on the Rockets the past 3 years, was he not?
Yep.
He was the number one option, and he's only hit 30 13 times. This dude, Cam Thomas, is sitting there. His coach is calling him a ball hog. Steve Nash was shitting on him for an entire summer and a half. Literally, one summer league MVP, and he goes, yeah, but he's got to work on his playmaking if he wants to play in this league. The type of shit he put up with. And then the next year, and then you got Jock Vaughn, who didn't believe in this guy at all, saying the same stuff. He doesn't pass. I can't play him in crunch time and all this other nonsense. Getting shit on. And he still did all this. You know who is my Cam Thomas of the UFC? My under-the-radar pick, future champ, future GOAT, Michael Morales.
We were talking about that, yep. He's flying under the radar. Flying
under the radar, and he's about to be doing a flying Superman punch in your favorite fighter's face pretty soon. Because that motherfucker's a bad man. I mean, he whooped out Jake Matthews, which I think is no joke. I think that fight was set up for him to get humbled a little. That was like, welcome to the UFC. This guy's a real fighter.
And it didn't work.
Yep. He beat him in a decision. It was a tough decision. I won't say it was oh yeah, Michael Morales. I think he got dropped in the first minute or first round.
Yeah, it wasn't. That was his toughest fight in the UFC.
Toughest fight, and that's him, young buck too. That's him, young, beating Jake Matthews. He's 16-0, and I think he's gonna hold on to this undefeated streak. People are talking about Bo Nickel. The dude's 6-0, and he just beat Gumbridge. but seriously,
yeah,
he's 6-0 and just beat Gumbridge. Who, I mean, fucking Michael Morales could have beat Gumbridge. Right. So Michael Morales could have been 17-0 if he fought at UFC 300, and no one would have batted an eye. No one would have said, "Oh, that was an amazing victory," and blah 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 blah. But Bo Nickel gets a win over Gumbridge, and people are like, "Bo Nickel, future of the UFC." So I just want people to be held to the same standard. If you're beating Gumbridge versus you're beating Jake Matthews is a real fucking UFC fighter. And this is kind of like an argument of Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. I know they're in two different stages of their career and stuff, but it's what level of competition are you really facing?
Right.
Are you facing the best of the best and getting wins or even competitive losses? Or are you kind of just beating cans? Respectfully, Jim Miller's been beating cans. And I think that's what Bo Nickel's doing. He's beating cans. I don't see Michael Morales fighting cans. The last two fights have been real. Trayvon Giles, that motherfucker hits hard. He's like Chris Curtis. Sleeper knockout power, tough as nails, and you're not putting him out, really. It's going to be a decision. When you fight Trayvon Giles, when you fight a Chris Curtis, one of these real brawler dogs, it's a tough fight. And he put Giles down. And then he fucked up Matthews. So, I don't know. This is my take. If you want the Cam Thomas, under-the-radar guy, Michael Morales. Plus, he's got a great name. Michael, my middle name. It goes along with my Cam Thomas theory. We got to find you a Richard to root for.
Right. Got Nick Richards.
All right.
Nick Richards for the Hornets. I don't know. That was the first thing I thought. That's a bum. I don't know. That was the first thing I thought of.
Is there a Richardson in the UFC?
Got Jason Richardson.
Richardson. What about Richard Quinn? No, there's no Richard Quinn.
No Richard Quinn? Damn.
Richard. Don Richard. Who is Don Richard?
The track.
He's 10-10, and he hasn't fought since 2010.
Get dirty.
You'll get a Rich soon.
Damn, he's trash.
Or maybe a Robert. You gotta go with your middle name. But any sleeper? Are you calling any sleepers right now in the UFC?
Put me on the spot. Not off the top of my head, no.
All right. Really? You got no sleepers?
I don't know. You put me on the spot here. I don't know.
You couldn't even just let out like a Shara Magomedov, the one-eyed ginger?
He is nasty. He looks
a Superman punch from the ground.
Yep.
You know that, right? You threw a Superman punch from the ground.
Yeah, you sent it to me. I remember you sent it to me that day.
Or it was like a flying leg kick from the ground. It was something nonsense that I'm like, I've never seen anyone do that. This guy's gonna be good.
Yeah, it was some tomfoolery.
Yeah, so some of these guys just have these new moves. It's almost like a hook shot. Like people don't pull out the hook shot.
Yeah, you never seen it before.
Yeah, it's just something new. So we'll see. Shout out to Armand for throwing the axe kick. We love to see new shit in fights.
Shout out
to the what's his name? Trevor Peak.
Trevor Peak, yeah.
Standing hammer fist. We love unique moves. Keep them coming. But on that note, do we have anything else?
Nope. All NBA next week.
Yep, all NBA next week. UFC Fight Night is probably going to be dog shit.
No, it's not next week. It's the week after. I don't think there's no fight.
Oh, yeah, and they're taking a week off, and then next week.
And then whatever it is, the 27th is trash.
Yeah, the only good fight, I've always liked Ryan Spann.
Yeah, Ryan Spann's got power.
Tim Means is fighting. He's a vet. He's been in the UFC for like 20 years. But after this, yeah, Austin Hubbard.
Rough.
Yeah, this is a rough card. Yeah, real rough. So, NBA, all next week, 100%. Playoffs are starting. Also, we have
WNBA
the award show. Yeah, we want to do our awards.
And the WNBA season is right around the corner, too.
That's big time.
The draft is tomorrow.
The draft is tomorrow, too. You're right.
We got to do the fantasy draft, too, this year.
Yeah, we do. We got to get back our fantasy league. Real quick, I just thought fast break. I did want to show you guys last fast break of the season. We've done it all season. So last day, might as well show it. It's pick 5 players who will combine for at least 35 assists and 35 field goals made. This one, I think, is damn near impossible, especially on the last day of the run. Here, let me zoom in a little bit. I know it looks better this way. How's that look? A little bit better?
Yeah, and you don't really know who's going to play, or you don't know if guys are going to play the first quarter, the first half, or not play at all.
Exactly. So this is kind of the dilemma I'm in. Just if you don't know what fast break is, basically on NBA Top Shot, if you own a common card, you could play them once. If you own the rares, you could play them twice. Legendary 3 times, but they're very expensive. So most of them I just have like common for people. So everyone's used up. If they're gray, they're already used. And then if they have the little health bar, they're hurt. So I got everybody hurt or used, and I just had to go searching. I had to go dumpster diving. So I'm going Jamal Murray. He makes some field goals. He gets assists. Garland, D-Russ, same thing. Hopefully LeBron ain't playing or Davis. So then D'Angelo Russell gets more assists, more points.
They're probably
Garland. What's up?
They're probably both going to play because they're still trying to finish with a higher play-in seeding.
Yeah.
So I would think LeBron and AD are still going to play, but I mean Russell could have more assists too.
Yeah, he could have some great assists. He could go off tonight. Regardless, I can't play LeBron. I can't play AD. So right. I'm kind of stuck there. Garland, He's got a little bit of an injury marker, which says day-to-day, but I'm not too sure. Let me see, ESPN, and then I got to do the injuries. I can do a double check to see if he would play. So I just go to Cleveland. Oh, Garland's out. Won't play Sunday's game.
Oh, there you go.
It starts in 9 minutes, so thank God. So Cavs.
Tristan Thompson.
And Mitchell's out?
Yeah, I think the Cavaliers already clinched a playoff berth. So
all right, so I'm putting LeVert.
Yeah.
LeVert for it's assists and field goals. So
look at a bunch of run.
Yeah, you don't have Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland. We already know he's like a ball stopper. So I'm with it. Hold up. And then I don't know why I put Wiseman in there, but I mean I kind of know why. When you look at the Detroit Pistons, and then like who I have collected. So if Duran's out, Beef Stew's out, Wiseman has to play. And on the last game, he played about 40 minutes. So I'm just kind of banking on him playing 40 minutes.
Yeah, he'll score.
And he'll score, yeah. I already know Cade's out, Grimes, Fontecchio, Beef Stew, Usar Thompson, Jalen Duran, they're all out. So you know what? Fuck it. I know Wiseman is a guy, he could take 30 shots if no one else will.
Right.
Karis LeVert is a guy that'll do that. Schroeder, I'm picking Schroeder because, I mean, the assist numbers have been incredible since he got to Brooklyn. He also can score at a decent clip. He's not bullshitting out there. I'm not picking Bridges.
I think Schroeder's out. I thought Schroeder was out.
Schroeder's out tonight?
Well, look, but I thought he was out.
Oh, I'll check.
I thought it said he was going to miss the last 2 games of the season.
Oh, it has him out for Friday's game against the Knicks. Oh, and so you're right. Good call. The worst part about this is that I've already used Cam Thomas.
Of course you have.
But, bro, I have a rare, so I've already used him twice. I can't. Yep. Fuck. Oh, my God. If there was a legendary Cam Thomas, I could have played him. Because I would have got 3 times.
Take Lonnie, then.
No, I need Gilliard. Because Gilliard's going to play. He played the last time. He really didn't get too much stats, though. Maybe Watford.
Yeah, Watford. He's played well lately. And he'll get a bunch of minutes with all the people that are out for them, too.
Let's see. I might have to buy a Watford. Maybe I could go to Floaty and see if I could buy one with some flow. Yeah, dang, Watford. Yeah, he might be the sleeper pick today. So show filters. I'm going to try to... Dang, I don't know, bro. Nobody's selling them in flow, and I don't want to pay 90 cents.
Damn.
It's for the last game of the year. It's not worth it. I'm not going for anything. Even if I spend the $1, I'm not going for anything. So we'll pick someone else. All right, who are we going for? Trey Jones?
Yeah, he'll get assists.
All right.
We know he'll get assists.
Fuck it. Trey Jones is the pick.
So Wild starting 5.
This is my starting 5 that I'm riding with.
Good luck.
Hey, on the last day of the season, one of the last days, this is kind of the lineup that you have to set, especially if you use your other stars. But either way, these guys are playing. So let's see how it goes. Have some fun. Other than that, I think we're out of here. It was a great stream. We tackled 300, and we did a great job. What's the percentage on 8 and 5? Let's see.
I can't do math.
8 divided by 13. 62%.
I'll take it.
62% is incredible. That's professional betting. That's above a professional bettor. I think 55 is what professional bettors say that they could win at.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
As long as they win 55% of their bets, they win. So they make money and they make a profit. So 62%, incredible. I don't know, 11 divided by 13, 85. 85. We'll always live with 85, but that's an outlier. So I'll just say I'm on a hot streak. I think I'll cool off after this week.
All right.
There's no way I'm guessing tomorrow. 2 weeks fight night. That one's too difficult. Fighters I've never seen before, so I don't know the matchups. In my head, I can't play them out. So anyway, any last words?
All set.
You sure there's no Too Rich segment?
Nope.
I haven't let that one fly in a couple of weeks, so I had to let that one go.
Too Rich segment. When the Celtics start losing in the playoffs.
Yeah, once the playoffs start, then that Too Rich segment's going to go crazy.
Yep, that'll be the whole podcast.
Yep. All right, bro. I'll holla at you. We out of here.
Adios.
Adios.